Hello, One Piece enthusiasts. I'm the One Piece nerd, and today let's talk about the Brain fruit. So, as of chapter 1067, we've been revealed to that Vegapunk has the Brain fruit, and that is sort of why his head was so big. So, with that being said, he had a lot of ideas with the brain food in mind. I couldn't get a little bit, I want to get a little bit more into it. And so let's start, honestly. Before we move on, make sure to like and subscribe. It helps the channel out a lot. And we get to 100, we're just 2 subs away from 100. We get to 100, I make the best One Piece theory video I have ever made, which probably comes out next week if you hit it. And now that you have, let's begin. So, the brain food, last time I remember correctly in my chapter review, I said that, Vegapunk did have the upper hand. Yes, now with the official translation up, it is confirmed that he does sort of have the upper hand. Like most geniuses born in the world, Isaac Newton, Albert Einstein, and whoever, every brilliant scientist you can name, they're almost naturally gifted, and so is Dr. Vegapunk. Now, what gives him a major advantage is that he can store a vast amount of information and create something more, upscale than what most people most scientists in the One Piece world would be able to come up with without the help of the brain fruit. Now, this is probably the reason why, Judge and Caesar worked under Dr. Vegapunk for a reason. And in my last chapter, I also sort of got this through my head. The brain fruit, from the world government's perspective, is a very dangerous fruit, and we'll get to that in a bit. So, what ideas does Dr. Vegapunk have with the brain fruit in mind? It allows him to store information. Anything he reads, he just basically absorbs it with a sponge. Like for most of us as school students and university students, we'd want to memorize our textbooks like from start to finish without ever having to worry to forget about it. Vegapunk basically has that gifted to him. So this is probably the reason why, he's made Egghead Island Punk Records, as the chapter suggests. He has that egg wherever in Egghead Island is. That is sort of the what you might call the memory card of Dr. Vegapunk, and he has stored in everything that he's absorbed over the past God knows how long. So he basically has his own computer, honestly. He's just a human computer, to put it simply. And with that information, he decided to split up his brain into 6 different parts, 7 different parts, but you get what I mean. And he basically wanted, with his intellect and with the memory he has, he basically can come up with stuff like creating 6 other bodies so that it is more efficient, and he is able to do that with the knowledge he has, with the previous records of science, with whatever he learned from Ohara, whatever little bit information he knows from about the Void Century. He is able to come up with scientific technology that is on par with what it used to be with the Ancient Kingdom. And yeah, it probably suggests that the Ancient Kingdom probably did have something like this. Devil fruits existed way before, and this is probably why Joy Boy is connected to the Nika fruit, the Hitonomi model Nika fruit to begin with. So I feel like this fruit definitely existed. There used to be a scientist and who actually created something like this that gave Vegapunk an idea. Maybe it didn't, maybe it did, but what Vegapunk wants to create is for that CPU to be shared, that memory to be shared with everyone in the world, sort of like the internet. Like, you guys should have guessed it. This basically allows people to input information, wrong or right. You are allowed to input information and learn anything from that memory, exactly the way the internet works. Now, how much more can you do with this? I'm not exactly sure. An awakening of the fruit, I probably think he's already awakened it at this point. Like, creating a separate entity where you could extract all the information rather than keeping it to your head. And maybe in a way that even if it does awaken, maybe that awakening is basically like it doesn't make your head go bigger and you can absorb more information quickly. I don't know what that awakening is. Maybe this is awakening, but that's something to keep in mind. So with that, all that being said and done, with Vegapunk wanting to create the internet, basically, and for other people to have access to information such as what he has with the Void Century, scientific technology, and whatnot, the government would not want this. The government halted scientific progression ever since the Void Century. I said it in, I don't remember which video I did, but the fact that it took them 800 years to come this far, which is not much, honestly. Like, the Ancient Kingdom had better than this. And 800 years, you could easily cross that boundary and people would have access to it. And the reason why people don't have access to it is because the world government doesn't want it. So, with Vegapunk wanting to create something like this, I really don't think that the world government wants it. And I think at this point it's sort of clear as to why the world government wants to assassinate Vegapunk to begin with. His vast amount of information and his ideology does not match up with the world government. The world government wants information for itself, scientific advancements for itself, and nothing for the people around them. Like they want nothing for the civilians. The civilians can live the way they want to, and that's it. That's good enough for them because that's what allows them to stay in power. And if that is truly the case, where Vegapunk wants to create something like this, he cannot create it in a world where the world government exists. And so it makes fitting sense as to why Vegapunk would want to join the Straw Hats to take them to somewhere else. Now, Egghead was supposed to be a relatively short arc. Like, I think it's going to be a short arc. I don't know how long it could get. CP0 is here, but point is, Egghead was never supposed to be the main priority. It was supposed to be a catalyst for something very different, something very bigger. So I did speculate that Dr. Vegapunk would be assassinated, but what he's dropped right now, and the amount of information he has, and the way he can advance the One Piece world, I really don't think it's time for him yet. Now, what do I envision at the end of the story and the Brain Fruit in general? What I envision is the internet created after Luffy becomes Pirate King. So everything that was supposed to happen, which is Luffy becoming Pirate King, the world government losing control, the Gorosei specifically, or the Tenryubito Im-sama losing control of power, and that will allow for a better justice system to be created, maybe from within the Marines, maybe Aokiji, maybe Smoker, Kobe, these sort of people would be in charge, where people would have access to information. They would not want to hide anything from the world and actually show or treat people or treat everyone in the way proper justice does. And then again, it's all controversial, but everything that Dr. Vegapunk envisions has to happen after what we've seen the vision of One Piece thus far. Luffy finds One Piece, goes against the world government, fights it, takes their power away, and then Vegapunk can create a world where he wants to. Whatever he wants to do. At that point, the whole world has to know Void Century existed. The world government has been doing this for 800 years. They've pulled this sort of crap. They've been doing everything that they've been doing under our noses, and this is not right. They were not the righteous rulers. And from there on, Vegapunk can actually make the most scientifically advanced world that the One Piece world has ever seen even better than what the Ancient Kingdom used to have. That's it for the video. And for the Brain Fruit, honestly, I call it the video, but it could be something it could have been something very different. We don't have much of any information on it, but yeah, that's what it is. The Brain Fruit basically allows the world to connect to one. And I think the One Piece is starting to form. If you guys enjoyed, make sure to like and subscribe. It helps the channel out a lot. And helps me a lot. If you've enjoyed the video, make sure to like and subscribe. Have a great day. Peace.